What do Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, and Kenny Chesney all have in common? Throughout their careers, they've all had run-ins with the law, gotten arrested, looked bad, but it never damaged any of their careers. Never stopped them from being country music superstars. And Morgan Wallen, earlier this month, threw a chair off of the top of roof, 6th-story floor of Eric Church's bar, Chief, on Main Street in Nashville, Tennessee. If you do take a deeper look, there's certain factors that went into the action, such as his ex getting married that happens to be the mother of his child, as well as he had come out and apologize and own up to his actions. As for the incident itself, the 7th of April 2024, Morgan Wallen was at the bar, like I said, Chiefs, in Nashville, Tennessee, and he was drinking alcohol, under the influence of alcohol, and in a rage. Sources say that he got up and threw or hurled a chair over the top balcony, and the chair landed, according to an affidavit by a police officer, 3 feet, approximately 1 meter from policemen themselves. Luckily, it did not hit anybody or damage any property, though it very easily could have, and as a result of that, could have been a lot worse. Luckily, it did not. The public's reaction was mixed to this. The public, some people, diehard followers on one hand, try to defend him right away without knowing, right? People do that without evidence all the time. On the other hand, other people called for him to be canceled, like he had been in previous incidents, the bad boy of country. Didn't work. Anyways, in the middle, there's the people that look at it objectively and say, this was screwed up. Rock stars have done this since the beginning of time. Maybe there needs to be a stop to it, but this one incident isn't the worst thing that's happened. Motley Crue, tons of people over time have done crazy things like this. Luckily, this one didn't end with someone hurt or killed. So, the strategies that his publicist used, as well as other people online trying to defend him, the main one that was used by him was he decided that he was going to come out eventually and tweet, or go on X as it's called now, and explain that he's sorry. He just decided to own up to it. This is called mortification. He wasn't mortified, it's not exactly the same, but he used the method of mortification to tell his fans that he's not proud of what he did. He's sorry, essentially. Forgive me. Those exact words weren't said, but that was the sentiment of his tweet. He did specifically say, and I quote, "I'm not proud of this." So, the public response to his apology, it didn't really change the way the public felt about it. You're sorry, that's all you got to give me, you could have killed someone. Or, rock and roll, But, that's not, at the end of the day, that's not really going to change anyone's opinion about what happened. They saw the fact, they saw the video, the chair flying off the roof. There's no excuse for your actions. The public, on the other hand, the media, they tried to make it about his ex-girlfriend and baby mama, or the mother of his baby son. She had gotten engaged earlier that week, and the same week, on that night specifically, she got married. He's written countless numbers of songs about how she broke his heart and how he's never gonna get over it, and what that did to his psyche, we can only imagine, right? So the public response to that, once again, didn't really change it. Some people might have felt some empathy for him. That strategy of defense is called provocation. He was provoked, essentially. So he heard this news about his girlfriend, his baby mama, and at that point, he lost it. He had a lapse of judgment. He was provoked by them, and he made an irrational decision and threw this chair off the roof without thinking about the consequences this action might have. Once again, public response didn't really change. They had what they thought. They thought what they felt, and at that point, it didn't really change. That wasn't significant evidence enough to as a whole, change the public's opinion. Maybe a few people felt bad for him, thought, I understand, I might act out if I heard something about my ex or the mother of my child. But as a whole, not a huge thing. If I was his publicist personally, and there were two audiences that I was trying to appeal to, in this case, I'm gonna start with audience A. Audience A is the rednecks, the partiers, the people who love his party songs, that party just like he does, and they're not necessarily angry with him. They didn't like the decision. They do want to see something, but they're not ridiculing him, calling for him to be canceled, right? So those people, I want to appeal further to the provocation argument. So in this case, I would reference the article by Andrew Nierenberg about the psyche. Basically, he talks about how when you're provoked and when you feel angry, then it's very easy for your body and your mind to feel that and act out angrily in the future as you feel that way. It tends to breed anger at that point if you got provoked by something that made you angry, right? So I would say that, and I would make that very clear, coming from the publicists themselves, instead of letting the media as well as social media, everyone online, make that argument for you. I'd make it very directly as his publicist myself. Audience B, the other audience I'd like to focus on, would be his fans that love him for his country music and are also churchgoers, Christians, those who have strong ethics and strong morals. It's very clear to everyone that Morgan Wallen has a problem with alcohol. He sings about alcohol in just about every single one of his songs, as well as he's gotten in trouble with the law, society, culture, because of his incidents while under the influence of alcohol. So if you could persuade Morgan to go to a rehab or to go get help from a church and be a part of an AA group, if you can get him to do that and you can make a statement saying, hey, he's doing this, he's trying to get better, he messed up, then it'd be a lot easier for that group to go, okay, I understand. He's doing what he needs to get better, and I forgive him because of that. I think that's the strongest argument that you can make for Morgan. The problem is, if he doesn't agree to go to rehab or to go to an AA meeting, you can't make it. So that's completely contingent upon him doing so. Essentially, at the end of the day, Morgan Wallen did throw a chair off the roof of a bar and endangered people's lives, endangered police officers' lives, could have broken property, which is very small in the big scheme of things compared to people's lives. But at the end of the day, it happened. Nobody's arguing that. You can't argue that. There's a lot of evidence, a lot of witnesses. Morgan Wallen never tried to argue that. He knows he would be stupid to do so. He knows that the strongest piece of evidence that he has to keep him in the spotlight is his work. He has electric concerts, great lyrics, and he has a breathtaking voice. He knows that he's not going anywhere. He doesn't have to say it and he can't say it, but he knows, just like his song, he's going nowhere.